All right, all right. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. How's everybody feeling? How many people are hungover? Everyone actually looks pretty bright and cheery, which is good. I like the first spot, to get everyone going. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, I know the theme is collaboration, and I'm going to take this from a slightly different angle, and we're going to talk about collaborating with our consumers, right? And we're going to talk about how through collaboration and connecting with our consumers, we manage to keep Priceless the invaluable equity that we've had for 17 years. So it's actually really exciting, and honestly, talking about Priceless is the easiest presentation I ever get to give, so it's actually a lot of fun for me. So when we talk about the connection economy, we're talking about a landscape in which the physical currency itself is the connection between people, right? Some of you may have read the blog post by Seth Godin called First Connect, right? And it's something that, in the parlance of Mastercard, money can't buy, right? But the ability to get people to connect with one another and insert themselves in your brand story, right, is what makes a brand story scale, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to talk a little about how we took Priceless and the nature of Priceless and how people can insert themselves in our story and how we can get into this connection economy, right? This social economy that we're all living in right now. But to take a step back for a second, at the end of the day, what is a brand really, right? A brand, or the value of a brand is its ability to make you feel something, right? Whether it is something, whether it's secure or whether it's feel great or feel connected to one another. That's the value. That's the purpose of a brand, is to make you feel. And I think we all know that there's a visceral reaction. You see a brand mark and you feel something, right? For better or worse, right? And with Mastercard, with the brand, we obviously want you to feel something, and we want you to feel something that makes you want to then pass that on and connect with other people and share that feeling. So some of you may recognize this. Do people recognize this image? This was the first Priceless spot that aired 17 years ago. Right? So I don't know if you realize the campaign is that old, and obviously very successful. And you know the formula: hot dog, X dollars, popcorn, soda, $18. The look on your son's face, priceless. What I like to say about this is that this was the first social media initiative, right? Because what we did, in essence, we didn't come out and ask people, in this tag, what's priceless to you? But the template laid a question that said, what is priceless to you, right? This was a story that Mastercard was telling, but the story itself is about all of us, right? It was a template, and it was an invitation for a conversation. We all have these experiences in our lives, and we all can tell a story about what is priceless to us. And that's what the goal was, right? The goal was to get people to connect. And on Facebook, we see this now where, a brand will post a picture of a beach, right, and say, what beach do you like to go to, right? And they want to get engagement, right? They're looking to connect. This inherently did that, right? This whole priceless thing. So as a result, we didn't really talk about viral campaigns, but we had global engagement. I'm going to roll for a second here just so you can kind of get the gravity of what happened after this campaign. I'm going to roll a couple of seconds of this just so you can kind of see how big this was and how global it was in nature.
Trip from the airport, $40. Tip, $8. Trapped in an airless container with a deranged lunatic, priceless.
Yankee tickets were $100. Hairspray tickets $200, but today's show's priceless.
Standing ovation from the enemy is, to quote Mastercard, priceless.
Airline ticket $500, hotel suite $250. Stealing someone's fiance? Priceless.
Number of films with full frontal nudity, 4. Number of films with full sidal nudity, 3. Number of films with rear frontal nudity, priceless.
天の汚名を晴らした四十七士たちの熱き思い、プライスレス。
Right, so a viral campaign, if there ever was one, right, without the connectedness of the internet, or at least the web that we know today. And I'm intentionally talking fast because I have so many great things I want to tell you, and I have 9 minutes and 46 seconds. So we reinvigorated this campaign recently at the beginning of this year with Priceless Surprises. And we did it with the same elegance and simplicity and this idea of connection at the core. And we launched it at the beginning of this year with Justin Timberlake. And I'm showing this because I want you to hear actually what Justin had to say. We worked on brainstorming with him. Yes, I did get to kind of hang out and sit in a brainstorm with JT. It was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. So just check this out really quick. This is how the campaign kicked off during the Grammys.
A fan's story and to also surprise them. When you come across someone that feels it the same way you do, that's when you get that connection. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both of us.
So
and how cool is that?
Even JT is talking about connection. I think hopefully a lot of you saw this spot. He goes on to surprise someone and spend the day with them. They make music together. It's actually brilliant. I recommend watching the longer cut. Bennett Miller was the director, who's the director of Moneyball. So great spot. But the way that we approached this was 3 types of surprises, right? Mastercard surprising our card holders, and partners such as JT surprising our card holders. But you get to a point where it's not scalable. You can only get so many famous people, right? And the way we really kind of brought this to scale, and the way we're bringing it to scale now, is getting people to connect and surprise one another, right? And to bring priceless surprises to one another. So you'll see here, we were actually listening to Twitter for people using the hashtag Priceless Surprises as they were having conversations, and we told them that they were getting a pair of Beats headphones or something, and not only did they get one, but they got 2. And the idea was to get them to connect with other people, right? So they begin to tell our brand story on our behalf, but they do it with themselves inserted in our brand story. They're part of our story. That's the collaboration, and that's how this has worked. And really amazing things have happened since then. So this is Jessica Jensen. She says, nice, I saw a Harmon Killebrew autographed ball at the antique store. It's out of my league, though, right? She couldn't afford it. We joined that conversation, and we offer to actually get this ball for her, right? And she responds by saying, I can't, she says, I can't accept it. She pays it forward, and she priceless surprises one of her followers with that ball. So again, she's inserting herself in our story. Rather than keeping it for herself, she gives it to someone else, right? Now, in terms of bringing this to scale, I imagine people have left a dollar bill in their jeans pocket at a time, and you find it, you hang up the jeans, and a week later you find it, and it's like, ooh, $1, right? It's like almost better than $1, right? It feels special somehow. So in thinking about how you bring these surprises to scale, we've done a lot of unique things, and I have a surprise for all of you. We're working with a company called Yifty, and they actually built their mobile gifting technology on Mastercard's network. So I want everyone to check your email. All of you should have in your email, I promise this is not a lead gen thing, we're not keeping the emails at all, but you should have in your email an $8 gift card on behalf of Yifty, Mastercard, and myself to the coffee shop here, Buzz. So you'll have that mobile gift card, priceless surprise. And actually, statistically, I know only 20% of you will actually use it. So, maybe this audience is a little bit different, right? So check your email. If you didn't get it, and I really want you to experience this, so email ps@yifty.com, because I think the technology is cool as well, and it might be something that you want to use in one of your campaigns. We also, of course, have this sharing on our site, and the idea is if you have a friend that you know goes to the same coffee shop every day, and you can go in, you search for that coffee shop, and you can send them a coffee, right? It doesn't have to be a big surprise. It's the emotion behind it. It's, I'm thinking about you, I care about you, and I want to connect with you, right? So it makes something like that dollar in your pocket, it makes it more special. And that's what we're powering. We're powering the connections, and we're powering people to tell this story of priceless surprises and surprise one another. I imagine when one of you here will use this gift card, and you'll say, wow, that's really cool. I'm going to do this to someone else. I'm going to get them a coffee, right? Because it's really meaningful. So, of course, sharing, and this is what the experience looks like. If you want to talk about how Mastercard network actually does this, we generate dynamic prepaid cards every time you get one. Very cool technology that we invented. So my story right now about connecting is not about technology, but there's some really cool technology behind it we could talk about later. So I have a couple more minutes left. We all connect around these stories, and when I talk about the connection economy, there are just certain things. I work on the global team, so I work on initiatives around the world, and there are some things inherent in the human condition that we all share. We all have a mom, right? I have a mom. I love my mom. I'm sure many of you do too. We did this, and I'm gonna show you this right now. It's something that we did in Hong Kong. It's one of my favorite. I expect to see a couple of eyes welling up here. It's really beautiful. But rather than sourcing another JT, what we did, of course, we went to the social web and we asked people to tell us their story. And this is what the team in Hong Kong did. And phenomenal engagement, viewership, millions of views and lots of engagement and lots of connection. And I love showing this, so I'm going to roll this really quick.
我媽咪咧就喺個木屋區嗰度湊大我哋4個，所以其實我媽都幾勁。
10年癌病醫咗2個幾月，
佢就病咗之後，我諗就係我哋啦，同埋啲孫都係佢生存嘅一個好大嘅動力。
做人幾好，願望咗啦！我真係，我乜都想到又得到。
我哋真係好想俾一個特別嘅嗰次。
喺度偷水，發成一個 box set 啦，會準備一條片段啦，等佢做下女主角。
藉呢個機會咧，我想同你講一聲，我哋全部都好愛你。
多謝你教我做人最緊要就係有禮貌同埋有責任，我亦都會用呢種方式去教我嘅小朋友。
你記唔記得咧？每年30晚我哋就好快食嗰餐飯咧，就執去戲院度咧帶我哋睇一場戲。原來咁多年咧，我哋大過咗之後咧，我哋冇帶過你睇過一場戲啦，已經。唔係淨係今日，我哋成世人咧，你係我哋唯一嘅女主角。呢啲係錢都買唔到。
多謝晒。
誠邀你們前往半島酒店嘉麟樓共進晚膳。
So again, this is Mastercard's story, but it's Mastercard's story told through the lives of our consumers and bringing them in. And through this, I see a couple tears over here, right? I mean, it's so powerful, and this campaign has done so well. It blew all of our metrics away. I know in the thing that said like what I'm supposed to add were numbers. I can't really show too many numbers, unfortunately. So just a couple of parting thoughts. The brand stories that have consumers playing an active role work really well. I mean, if you look at some of these priceless surprises around the world, you know, that didn't cost very much to produce, right? But the impact was priceless. You know, the brands that people love are the ones that they feel an emotional connection with. And brand affection, you know, grows from catalyzing connections between people. And that's what we've done with Priceless Surprises. If you're going to be watching the Grammys this year, we're going to outdo ourselves in the US. We have these initiatives going on around the world, and we have brought Priceless Surprises to the level of Priceless. And it's something that just keeps growing because we're connecting people and we're connecting them with our story and allowing them to insert themselves in our story. And of course, everyone needs a bit more prices. So with that, thank you, everyone. I managed to do this with, maybe I'm over by 38 seconds, which is not bad.
Go on that way. Go on that way. Yeah.
All right, this way.
It's all right. Being over by 38 seconds. We'll allow it since you